Chapter 6: The Agility Test. Oliver. Standing alone in the center of the arena, Oliver felt the weight of the silence pressing down on him. A single, intense spotlight beamed down from the high ceiling. His eyes locked onto the far end of the arena. He knew the automated turrets would soon emerge. His heart pounded in his chest like a war drum. Each beat echoed in his ears. Level 1 initiated. The announcement of the start of the test appeared floating in a hologram in front of him. A sound signal followed. Even so, Oliver found it difficult to concentrate. His adrenaline was sky high. His heart felt like it was going to burst out of his chest. At another time, he would have stopped to breathe. But he didn't have that luxury. Two panels slid open on the far wall with a pneumatic hiss. Sleek, black turrets emerged. Their barrels gleamed ominously as they swiveled to lock onto him. The silence shattered. The mechanical whirring of their targeting systems filled the arena. The first shots were fired. High-velocity projectiles sliced through the air, heading straight for him. Oliver sprang into action, diving to the side as the round zipped past where he had just stood. He hit the ground, rolling, and quickly got back to his feet. The projectiles struck the walls and floor, bouncing around the arena. He had hoped to discern a pattern in the turret's firing sequences. It became apparent that the system was more sophisticated. The turrets adjusted their aim dynamically. They predicted his movements and targeted the most inconvenient spots. Sometimes they unleashed a relentless stream of fire. Other times they paused momentarily before releasing a rapid burst. Each variation forced him to adapt on the fly. He needed every ounce of concentration to avoid being hit. Level 2 initiated. According to the officer, this was the limit of the average human. The turrets intensified their assault, but Oliver handled it with surprising control. His years working in wave disposal had honed his physical endurance. His body was accustomed to prolonged exertion. Level 3 initiated. This was the level where most recruits met their match. The projectiles increased in speed, becoming blurs that zipped through the air with deadly precision. The firing patterns grew erratic. There was little room for anticipation. Yet Oliver still felt a sense of control. The orcs were faster, he thought, recalling his harrowing encounter from the previous day. Dodging another volley, he noticed the projectiles accumulating on the floor. They no longer ricocheted but stuck upon impact. The arena transformed into a hazardous landscape. Each step required careful placement to avoid tripping. Level 4 initiated. Internally, Oliver celebrated a small victory. He couldn't express it verbally. His breathing was heavy. He wanted to push to the limit to prove himself. Each new shot made it more challenging. Level 5 initiated. A sudden mechanical clank echoed behind him. Spinning around, Oliver saw a third turret rising from the floor at the opposite end of the arena. Its barrel trained on him instantly. He was caught in a deadly crossfire. The new turret's firing rhythm was different, catching him off guard. He dodged the first two shots, twisting mid-air. The third projectile came too swiftly. It struck him in the back, knocking the wind out of him. Pain exploded through his body. He stumbled forward, falling to his hands and knees. His vision blurred. He fought the urge to vomit. "I'm not going to throw up. I'm not going to throw up," he chanted silently, gritting his teeth against the pain. Test finished. Calculating. Evaluated status, agility. Grade, Knight. Yet. Oliver cheered inwardly, careful not to let his emotions show. He rose slowly, his back protesting with a sharp ache. Each movement reminded him of the toll the test had taken. "Good thing I didn't throw up," he thought wryly as he made his way toward the exit. The officer looked the boy up and down while jotting down information on a floating screen. "Well done, Knight. Congratulations." "Oliver, right?" The officer raised an eyebrow. Oliver nodded in confirmation. A nameless, congratulations nonetheless. The revelation that a nameless had outperformed the majority sent a ripple through the ranks of assembled trainees. Glances of disbelief and veiled resentment darted toward Oliver. Many had dedicated years to rigorous preparation, only to be overshadowed by someone they deemed inferior. Oliver remained composed. He was no stranger to the weight of prejudice. This was neither the first nor the last time he would face scrutiny. Those who have completed the test proceed to the end of the line and await further instructions, the officer commanded. He ushered the next recruit forward, his gaze stern and unyielding. The assessments continued. Some recruits pushed past level 3, displaying commendable agility. The majority faltered and were eliminated earlier. The atmosphere was tense, with silent determination hanging over the arena. Then came an unexpected turn. A recruit stepped into the arena, visibly shaken. Moments after the test began, he was struck twice rapidly. Direct hits to the face during the very first level. Gasps rippled through the observers. Before anyone could react, two figures clad in pristine white uniforms materialized beside the fallen trainee. Their movements were swift and efficient. They lifted the unconscious recruit onto a levitating stretcher. With a soft hum and flicker of light, they vanished as abruptly as they appeared. "Recruit disqualified," the officer announced coldly, scanning the crowd for dissent. A wave of unease swept through the recruits. The possibility of disqualification had loomed distantly, but witnessing it firsthand injected a stark reality into their minds. Murmurs spread like wildfire. Anxiety rippled through the trainees. Oliver saw Isabella clench her hands at her sides. Her knuckles turned white. A flicker of fear overshadowed her usual excitement. Indeed, the officer continued, slicing through the murmurs. Those who don't at least meet the average human standard won't survive the trials ahead. Did you truly believe anyone could become an officer? His gaze pierced the crowd. Each recruit reconsidered their resolve. The weight of his words settled heavily. The recruits stood straighter. Expressions hardened. For many, this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, a chance to rise above circumstances, to grasp a future that seemed just out of reach. However, focus was quickly shattered when the next recruit entered the arena. The girl walked swiftly to the center. Her long blonde hair was almost white. Her delicate but solemn features gave her an air of fairy tale beauty. To many, she seemed like she had stepped out of a storybook and into the New Earth Army. Level 1 initiated, Level 2 initiated, Level 3 initiated, Level 4 initiated. The first 4 levels passed quickly. She seemed barely exerted. Her speed and grace were perfectly matched. Movements were light and subtle, yet enough to avoid being hit. Level 5 initiated. Even with a new threat, she seemed unfazed. Adjusting her dodges wasn't a significant challenge for her. Freaking impressive. So that's how I should have done it, Oliver thought. Could I even do something like that? He wondered whether seeing her perform would help him. Level 6 initiated. A new level began. The number of guns or projectiles didn't increase. Observers were puzzled. The projectiles had shifted from bouncing to sticking. The center of the arena became unusable. Level 7 initiated. A fourth turret appeared opposite the third. Now all 4 corners had a turret. With the center covered in sticky projectiles, she had to choose a position closer to one of the guns. Even this level didn't eliminate her. Level 8 initiated. The firing speed increased dramatically. A shot hit her leg. She was eliminated. Test finished. Evaluated status, agility. Grade, Bishop. Murmurs among the recruits grew. The officer's voice carried a rare note of approval. Impressive. We have our first bishop. Congratulations. He glanced at the luminescent data slate. He pronounced her name, but Oliver, standing too far back, couldn't catch it. Frustration gnawed at him. There was something enigmatic about her. His curiosity was piqued. It wasn't just the officer who was impressed. Astonishment rippled through the trainees. Whispers floated like electric currents, a mix of admiration and envy. Even the usually sarcastic Alan and the enthusiastic Isabella were visibly taken aback. They exchanged glances. They understood the gravity of achieving a bishop rank, something still eluded Oliver. The officer studied the girl briefly. Your brother would be proud of your performance. She arched a delicate eyebrow, acknowledging with a hint of defiance or sadness. A faint smile touched her lips. "Thank you, Professor," she replied softly. She turned to rejoin the ranks, moving with otherworldly grace. Her nearly white blonde hair cascaded over her shoulders. As she passed, Oliver caught a glimpse of her eyes, deep gray, like storm clouds. For a fleeting moment, their gazes met. Chapter complete. Like, comment and subscribe for more.